I'm Ryan Callahan with your GoVols247 recruiting roundup. A number of Tennessee's coaches were on the road last week to take advantage of the Vols open date. That included head coach Butch Jones, who took advantage of the open date by traveling to the Nashville area to see Kyle Phillips, the top 247 defensive end from Hillsborough High School, along with Vincent Perry, his teammate, the Tennessee commitment, a three-star athlete. Butch Jones also spent Friday night in Murfreesboro checking on Jack Jones, the Tennessee commitment, and his teammate Kyle Oliver, another UT commitment, along with their teammate, 2017 athlete Jacoby Stevens, who already has an early Tennessee offer and looks like he's going to be one of the Vols' top in-state priorities in the 2017 class. He also stopped by to see Juwan Jennings play for his first half of his playoff game, the top 100 quarterback at Blackman High School. So he was able to see a number of those important targets in the mid-state area. Also, Tommy Thigpen was with him, the linebackers coach, to check on Van Jefferson over at Ravenwood High School in Brentwood, and made a number of those other stops that Butch Jones made. So they kind of hit most of those high points together Friday. And then Robert Gillespie, the running backs coach, was in North Carolina to check on two of Tennessee's top remaining running back targets, Johnny Frasier of Princeton, North Carolina, and then Bryce Love of Wake Forest, North Carolina. Still looking like a Tennessee-Stanford battle right now for Bryce Love, and coincidentally, Stanford and Tennessee both had coaches at his game Friday night. Don Mahoney, the offensive line coach, was in the Maryland, Virginia, and D.C. area to see a number of guys. That included four-star offensive tackle Patrick Allen, a Georgia commitment up in Maryland, who remains one of Tennessee's top targets. He's planning to take his official visit to Georgia this weekend. That's a potentially big visit for his recruitment, but Tennessee's still looking like a threat to the Bulldogs right now for him. Also, Matthew Burrell, the top 100 offensive lineman from down in Virginia, not far from D.C. He's still on Tennessee's radar, although Penn State right now looking like the favorite to land him at this point. Steve Stripling, the defensive line coach, was out in California checking on Kahlil McKenzie, and a former teammate of his at De La Salle High School, Boss Tagaloa, top 247 defensive tackle. So Tennessee's staff covering a lot of area last week. Zach Azani was down in Georgia to check on Mecole Hardman, a top 247 athlete from Elberton, Georgia. So another early top target of Tennessee's in the 2016 class. And Mark Elder was in D.C. to check on tight end Devante Brooks, a four-star prospect who's high on Tennessee's board for the 2016 class, and also was down in North Carolina to check on Tennessee commitment Rocky Reid and 2016 running back B.J. Emmons of Morganton, North Carolina. So the Vols coaches were all over the place last week and saw a number of important targets in both the 2015 and 2016 classes. This week for the home game against Kentucky on Saturday, looks like at least a few official visitors expected in for that game, including a couple guys who currently are committed to other schools. Ugo Amadi, a four-star cornerback from Nashville at Overton High School. He's been committed to Ole Miss since back in March, and he's planning to be in town this weekend on an official visit. He's been back to Tennessee a couple times since committing to Ole Miss earlier this year, and it sounds like Tennessee's still a factor in this one going into this weekend, but this will be his official visit, it looks like. And also Corey Dauphine, a four-star running back from Texas who's committed to Texas Tech right now. He's been involved with the Vols for several weeks, and Tennessee extended an offer to him back in late September, and Robert Gillespie went to see him last month. So looks like Tennessee's still in the running for him, and we'll get him on campus this weekend. And one other name to keep an eye on this weekend on official visit, Darius Slayton, a four-star wide receiver, top 200 prospect from Norcross, Georgia. He's actually a teammate of Micah Abernathy, the Tennessee commitment. He'll be in town on an official visit. Georgia right now looks like the favorite for Slayton, but Tennessee a little bit more of a factor there here recently with Abernathy having committed to Tennessee last month. So it looks like Tennessee will get him on campus and maybe have a chance to become more of a factor with him going into perhaps the final weeks of his recruitment. That's an early look at what Tennessee's visitor list looks like this weekend for the game against Kentucky. We'll have more on that next week in the GoVols247 recruiting roundup.